During the gameplay deep dive, we got a small peek into what abilities will look like in college football 25. I was and kind of have always been in a boat that when it comes to Madden, EA took X Factors and all of that stuff way too far. I don't know how many of you are still playing MUT this late into the year, but X Factors are absolutely absurd. I feel like it started earlier and earlier in the life cycle of every single game, where you kind of just need to have those always on X Factors to even be competitive in the game, where it's more like playing Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh or something, and less about like the actual strategy of the game. But enough of the Madden talk. Let's get on to my take on what we've actually seen so far revealed. This three-tiered ability system is pretty much exactly what I've kind of been asking for in a football game. It functions pretty much similar to that of the bag system in NBA 2K. I think the main thing that this new system solves that the previous X Factor / ability system lacked is that the previous system, it pretty much was limited to the cream of the crop players. In real life, there are certain guys who are really good at one specific thing. An easy example I can think of is route running. In NFL, we have guys like Jerry Jeudy or Calvin Ridley. They're both phenomenal route runners, but I think you'd be foolish to say that either of them are top 5, top 10, even like top 15 receivers. So I think that this new system, it really allows an extra layer of, I think, customization, because once again, those guys, Jerry Jeudy, Calvin Ridley, they're both examples of people who are in that elite tier of route runners, but are not necessarily in that upper echelon of receivers overall. So this is definitely one of my favorite features. That tiered badge system / ability system, it completely gets rid of that issue that we've had for years. I'll probably keep talking about NBA 2K throughout this video. I feel like we all are pretty familiar, at least a little bit, with how the bag system works in that game. In NBA 2K, you could be, for example, a 74 overall player. This could be my team, which is kind of the Ultimate Team equivalent of that game. Or this could be regs, and you could be a 74 overall, but let's say you're really good at shooting. All you really do is shoot. Then that player, he could have gold corner specialist. So he could knock down a lot of corner threes. Even though he might have a super low 3-point rating, he's able to still be consistent at what he's good at, which is corner threes. We haven't ever really had this in any football game. On top of kind of that layer of everything, something that abilities did horribly in Madden, and that X Factors also do horribly, is just a guaranteed cop out. You know, if this player has short in elite or this player has short out elite, that ability is going to activate, and it's kind of the abilities over everything. It doesn't really matter about scheme, which is what I was talking about earlier, which I just hated about the current system that we have in place. We've already had it confirmed that these abilities don't guarantee anything. All they really do is increase the likelihood of something happening. So you no longer do you really have to build your entire roster around what team or what abilities your opponent is running. You can kind of get back to the X's and O's of things and make it less about the abilities, which is just something that I'm going to thoroughly enjoy about this upcoming game. I started in the era of Madden and NCAA, where it was probably 80 to 90% scheme and maybe 20% team, whereas I think the recent games have pretty much made it roughly the reverse of that. Maybe it's 70% team and 30% scheme, or so maybe it's like swayed a little bit. Ultimately, this system should help each player feel different from one another in a way that attributes alone cannot accomplish. But moving on, we saw a handful of the abilities be completely revealed, where we're given the icon as well as the description. So looking at this screenshot, we see a total of 3. Safety valve is in Madden, and then sidestep seems to be like a more toned down version of jukebox. I think takeoff is unlike anything we've seen before. It's super interesting to see on a running back, but that's really just based off the description. I wonder if this will only work when lined up out wide, or will we also be able to maybe improperly trigger this while the running back is lined up in the backfield? Dot, step up, and sleight of hand are the first look at the QB only abilities. Sleight of hand is the name of an ability in Madden, but the college football 25 version seems to be completely different. Whereas the Madden version is kind of centered around pump fakes and gets super unrealistic with kind of getting DBs to bite. This more so actually rewards you for calling real football concepts. So you're going to want to call play action in situations where it makes sense to call play action. One thing that always got on my nerves in pretty much every game ever is people on 3rd and 25, 3rd and 15. You're running a play action pass. why is my defender biting on the run fake? 9 times out of 10, you're throwing the ball. So I don't get why that's kind of always been a feature. So I'm happy that I saw this. And I think this is a pretty underrated aspect of what we've heard about so far. And then jumping over to this Ali Gordon screenshot, we get to see the difference between the different tiers of abilities. So looking at Edwards versus Gordon, we see the words used. It's moderate versus ultimate. And we also see this throughout where it's kind of that platinum tier. We see ultimate versus that middle or bronze tier. We see more moderate type of verbiage used. So now rest of the video is going to be me kind of rattling off all of the abilities that we have gotten confirmed so far for College Football 25. So I want to give a shout out to esports.gg. I'll make sure to leave the link in the description, but they've compiled all of the abilities descriptions that we've seen so far. First one is 50-50. We're going to go in alphabetical order. So this is improved jump ball ability. So when I think of guys like this, I think of Keon Coleman from Florida State last year. He seems like he won every single jump ball, and that was pretty much what he made his money on and why he got drafted so early. Pretty much lacked that route running ability. But moving forward, we got ball hawk. So this is improved break on throw ability. I hope this is not too overpowered. It kind of reminds me of, I can't remember what year of Madden it was, but maybe you had to have like 91 zone coverage and DBs would literally break on the ball before the quarterback even threw it. So I hope it's not too overpowered. But yeah, moving on, we got best friend. So this is QB composure gain on first down catches. So I think this is kind of to simulate your quarterback just getting more settled as he makes plays. So throw a first down, get a composure boost. And then moving forward to the next one, we have clear-headed. It's kind of in the same vein as that last one. So protection from composure loss. Clutch kicker. I'm not too big on special teams, but this is easier accuracy timing on late field goals. And I will say the new kick meter, it seemed kind of tough to do. I played the Madden 24 beta, and in the Madden 24 beta, every time I try to use that new kick meter, which I'm assuming is going to be the same as the College Football 25 version, I was missing a lot more often, which I think was the goal. And then we have double dip, so this is improved double move routes. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Downhill, we saw that with Donovan Edwards. So you break more tackles when running at a max speed. Then we got fan favorite. So this is increased composure gains at home. So I guess this is them trying to really simulate the difference between playing home and away, because it makes a huge difference, especially in those die-hard type stadiums. Then we got field general here, so this is a quarterback one. So assists in identifying blitzers and disguise coverages pre-snap. So this is another feature that we were kind of able to use a little bit in the Madden 24 beta, and that's the whole coverage shell thing. So we'll be able to see, I guess, pre-snap whether or not the team or the defense is really showing their coverage. And there's definitely a bunch, so I would for sure recommend once again checking out that link in the description. But layout is improved dive catches. So this seems like it's going to be super similar to the current acrobat that we have in place. And in terms of option king, so this is improved accuracy on pitches and potential wear and tear protection on option plays. So this is really to allow those players who run a lot of options in real life actually set themselves apart. So the whole accuracy on pitches, that kind of has me interested. So I'm wondering whether or not we'll see a bunch of inaccurate pitches if it's guys who don't really run that whole triple option / speed option type of concepts in real life. And then another one that we got confirmed is improved protection from wear and tear. That is the workhorse ability. So I think it'll be cool this to kind of set apart those players who play a lot of downs in real life. Travis Hunter playing 100+ downs in a single game. So it should be both offense and defense to really make it more realistic. So those guys who play both ways, not super common, but I wonder if it'll also be given to those guys who just play a lot of downs in general. So maybe not offense and defense. So now I'm going to kind of talk about and speculate on what some of these other abilities are, strictly based off of the name and maybe the icon that we've seen. So once again, this part is strictly speculation, and none of this is confirmed. So mobile deadeye is one that I think will be huge. I think a lot about Caleb Williams, so I assume it'll be something like improved accuracy when throwing the ball from outside of the pocket or something of that nature. And then I'm thinking off platform is in that same type of vein. So probably improved accuracy when throwing on the run or when throwing off your back foot or something like that. So those are of course both quarterback only abilities. So I think those are both be huge, of course. I think deep range too. I feel like I'm only talking about the quarterback abilities, but I feel like that's what really sets you apart when it comes to gaming. Like, if your quarterback is good, your team's gonna be good. They play like a substantial role, especially in the college game. Well, I guess you can kind of hide your quarterback a little bit more in the college game, but I like to air it out. So that's kind of what my mind is on. But I think the deep range ability will be something like improved accuracy on 20+ yard throws. So I would kind of want to have all of those on my quarterback. But there's a bunch where I think it'll be good, but I don't really know what it'll be, or at least the name sounds cool. So like aftershock, what's that gonna be? Backspin, I think that'll probably obviously be for your kicker, get increased backspin or something like that. And then blanket coverage, that'll probably be huge. Blow up will probably be something centered around hit sticks and things like that. I see bouncer probably being a blocking type ability. So I don't know, we'll see. And then chip shot, I think this one will be huge because, like I said, that new kick meter makes it pretty tough to actually accurately hit field goals. So I think chip shot will probably be like slowed kick meter within 20 yards or something of that nature. Because I think people are going to start missing a lot more kicks, because in college football, kicks are not guaranteed kind of how they are in the NFL. Not that they're guaranteed in the NFL, but you get the idea. We see kickers shanking extra points from the 2-yard line. We see kickers missing 15-yard field goals. So I think that'll be a cool one. But overall, that's kind of my overall gist of what I think about the new abilities in College Football 25. If you watch this far in the video, definitely thanks. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Comment maybe what you're speculating some of these abilities are going to be. Because once again, we don't know. We're just under a month from when the game is actually going to drop. So I'm just trying to pass the time, keep my mind on College Football 25. So yeah, definitely thanks again if you watched this far. Make sure, once again, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one.